Every so often, I boot up a Total War game and get a replay that is so kick-ass, so unbelievably entertaining to play and watch back that I'm actively reminded of why I love playing Total War games and why I started a YouTube channel for this series. The battle you're about to see was an amazing 2v2, not necessarily because of incredible micro or high-level play, but because it encompasses everything that I love about Total War. This battle will be the Empire provinces of Stirland and Wissenland, attempting to stem the tide of Nurgle, an alliance between the demons and warriors of chaos who worship the god of decay. We'll go over units for both sides first, and then jump into what might very well be one of my favorite Total War replays ever. I hope you guys enjoy it like I did. See you on the battlefield. So for the armies of the Empire, I have a lot of really cool units you guys probably haven't seen in action before. Victor Saltzpyre says hello. I've got 2 units of Witch Hunters, men who have dedicated themselves to the eradication of chaos from the lands of the Empire. 2 HP, great melee stats, and good range damage with their pistols, but they're very low in number. Also brought the Conqueror Steam Tank, a war machine of heat and steel, capable of blasting enemies from afar with a main cannon or running over entire enemy units in close combat. And of course, no Empire army is complete without a core of state troops. In this case, I've got 3 Stirland Halberds and a lot of Reiksguard on the field, dismounted Reiksguard on the field for the Empire provinces of Wissenland and Stirland today. And in the center of my army, a war altar of Sigmar with a mounted warrior priest, going to be praying in the heart of battle. They function just like the Venetian Carrocchio stand in Medieval 2. They buff allied morale in a big radius. It's going to be very important when the forces of Nurgle crash into my lines. Hunters of Sigmar, heavily armored with those big axes. They are new in 1.6, and for the knightly orders, I've got Knights of the Bull and Knights of the Golden Lion. They were founded in Araby during the Crusades. Knights of the Bull right here. Very cool model, not very popular in the lore, but they do look awesome, and some inner circle knights as well. So as you would expect, lots of heavy cavalry on the field for the Empire, and my partner will also be bringing some Dogs of War pikemen, Rico's Republican Guard, and the Al-Qatani Fellowship. For Nurgle, 2 Great Unclean Ones, the greater demons of Nurgle, the Plague Father's physical embodiment in the mortal world. They spread disease and corruption wherever they go, and in Call of Warhammer, they're an absolute terror to deal with, and you will see that shortly. Nurglings are the demonic meat shields of the forces of Nurgle. They're just lesser demons who honestly look pretty hilarious until they swarm you or die at your feet and give you AIDS and kill your entire army that way. So they actually are kind of a problem to deal with. And of course the Hell Cannon of Chaos, massive demonic artillery piece that fires the souls of dead enemies. And for core infantry, of course, lots of Chaos Warriors to choose from, but let's focus on the Chosen of Nurgle. They are really awesome looking 2 hit point diseased monsters with their intestines hanging out. If you upgrade their armor, they'll be able to soak up lots of damage from pretty much anything but artillery strikes and cavalry charges. And of course the lesser demons of Nurgle, the Plaguebearers, and the Chosen Knights of Nurgle. The Plaguebearers have 4 HP, so they are a terror to deal with on the field. So I'm going to be playing as Stirland today. Pina Colada will be playing as Wissenland. We've brought very balanced, very eclectic armies, lots of range units, lots of artillery, that war altar of Sigmar to keep my melee troops in the fight for longer against the forces of chaos, and of course lots of heavy cavalry. Even brought some Mercenary Ogres, paid good coin to get their assistance, but I've got steam tanks up front, and we're going to be trying to whittle down as many Warriors of Chaos and Demons of Chaos as possible before they get into melee, because without a lot of kills on our range units, we are going to get overwhelmed, surrounded, and probably destroyed. But Captain Gorguts is going to be playing as the Warriors of Chaos, and Gojira will be playing as the Demons. Great Unclean Ones on the field. You're going to see them in action real soon. They are scary. They look scary, and they are really, really good in this mod. So up in the center here, you can see the Warriors of Chaos moving up now. Steam Tank already starting to get some volleys off. Got a really good shot on the flank of that Chaos Warrior Halberd. And like I said, it's going to be so important for the artillery pieces to do their damage before the Warriors of Chaos and the Demons get into melee, because the Empire melee line is probably going to falter against so many high armor, high HP units. So another great shot from the Steam Tank there. That one killed about 15 or 20. So that Chaos Warrior Halberd is already down to half strength, but Steam Tank is only going to have time to shoot a couple of more times before I have to retreat. I was toying with the idea of just sending it straight into the middle of their army and then letting it go to work. It has such high armor and so much HP, I think 10 HP, that it could probably do quite a bit of damage, but I am going to end up retreating it as the forces of Nurgle move up now. And you can see we're arrayed in a very defensive line, waiting for this attack to come in, waiting for our mortars and our steam tank and our Hellblaster volley gun to do the damage before they get into melee. So you can see some damage has already been done to this line. Gun line is opened up now. The Witch Hunters are doing quite a bit of damage to the Warriors of Chaos as well, using shrapnel shot on my mortars, explosives going off everywhere, and the Knights of the Bull going to charge right up the center. Great charge in the center of these Warriors of Chaos. You can see men getting thrown up into the air. Really good charge from the Knights of the Golden Lion there. But I'm going to have to retreat them. I am going to take some losses because my cavalry only has 1 HP. And Great Unclean Ones up the center, right through the middle of my halberds, into the mortars. And you can see every time they move their arm, they just kill guys in a massive AoE. The animations are a little wonky, I'll give you that. But oh my god, dude, that actually killed like 20 guys. Every time they swing their arms, people just die in droves around them. So Great Unclean One doing a lot of work in the center. And you can see the Chaos Cavalry is now moving into a really scary flanking position. So I'm going to move my halberds to my right flank, my Mercenary Ogres, and retreat my cavalry and protect my rear, because if he gets a good charge off into my infantry with all of this heavy cav, I'm going to be in huge trouble. So I'm calling to Pina Colada right now. I'm like, dude, we got a lot of cav in our rear. This is really scary. We got to get our knights in the back line, get some halberds and some other units in a position to block these charges, because this is what Chaos wants to do. They want to charge into melee. Great charge up the center here into the cavalry. They want to surround you and just completely overwhelm you with heavy units. So I'm going to countercharge here. Not going to be an easy fight for me at all. Knights of the Bull going to get in there and just tie down this big blob of heavy cavalry. He's not using his javelin cav very well. He should be keeping them further out of melee, but he actually sent them into attack mode, and that's not really what he wants. He wants them throwing jabs, and instead they're going to be caught up in melee, which is not great. But it's still a bunch of Chaos Nurgle Knights. That's a problem. But I'm going to get a really good flanking charge with my Mercenary Ogres, get a nice rear charge off, do a lot of damage there, and hopefully be able to stem the tide of Nurgle over on that side. But in the center, my line is going to falter. I do not have an answer to these Great Unclean Ones. They are just doing work in the center of my formation. And over on the other side, Gojira is trying to break through this one little tiny part of the pike line. If he can get through and then swarm into the rear, he can ignore a lot of those other pike units and get straight at the artillery. So I think that's what he's trying to do. There are some Shadow Warrior, High Elf warriors in the back there shooting into the melee blob, so they're going to actually rack up quite a bit of kills if they're not going for the 4 HP Plaguebearers, but there are a lot of 2 HP and 4 HP units on the field for Nurgle. War Altar of Sigmar still buffing my guys, but you can see Great Unclean Ones have just cut a swath of destruction through my main line. Lots of my guys dropping right now, but the Hellblaster volley gun and the Hellstorm rocket battery have opened up, trying to cut through these Nurglings and some of the Plaguebearers and the Warriors of Chaos, doing quite a bit of damage. You can see all that dust getting kicked up. They're kind of cutting a line right there through the middle of that formation, so they've done quite a bit of damage so far. But my halberd line definitely is starting to thin out, and honestly, you've got to feel so bad for the Empire State troops. There's really nothing spectacular about them at all. They're just men, they're just bags of meat, and they're expected to hold the line against greater demons and plate armored monsters with nothing but a halberd. In the back here, my cav is actually doing really well in this engagement, and a lot of it had to do with that rear charge from the Mercenary Ogres. Really tipped the balance in my favor, but you gotta respect the Empire State troops. I mean, they're seriously holding the line really well, all things considered, despite the fact that there are so many Nurgle units, especially that Greater Demon. It's killing so many men, causing so much fear in the middle of my formation, and I think the War Altar of Sigmar has made a really big impact on this game, keeping my guys in the fight. But you can see Warriors of Chaos are definitely starting to break through. Look at that Greater Demon just running like Speedy Gonzales there. That's actually hilarious. The speed of the Greater Demons of Nurgle is actually, I don't know if that's lore friendly or not. I would expect that they'd be kind of slow, but actually one of them's going to drop there to a Witch Hunter shot. That one guy, you saw that one guy shoot on the line, and that was the last HP. That was actually a legendary shot right there, so props to that dude. But there's the other Great Unclean One is in the middle of some crossbows and the Shadow Warriors, along with some Nurgle cav. But yeah, I don't know how lore friendly it is that a greater demon of Nurgle can
sprint that fast, but it's kind of scary, honestly. I kind of like it. There is one Tutigan guard from Pina Colada that was chasing off some units, and now it's going to come back. And the Tutigan guard, the Knights of the White Wolf, have I think the biggest Empire charge bonus on their roster. They're going to slam into the rear of this Warriors of Chaos unit, and it's going to be utter destruction. I think they have a 14 charge bonus, which means they can kill 2 HP units. They can take them down to like half strength on 1 charge from the front. So really good hammer and anvil there. That's going to be very big because I was losing that engagement on the right flank. And my Knights of the Bull going to kill the Nurgle General, the Warriors of Chaos General. So that is a big deal. Chaos doesn't have the biggest morale problems, especially because they have a bunch of Warriors of Chaos, which are very high morale units. But that is the other general that's got Vodgojira General, the greater demon of Nurgle. So if we can kill both the gens, again, not going to be the biggest deal, but it's still going to help out. Some of the units can still rout, so we'll see if we'll be able to take out that last Great Unclean One. We actually are cleaning up the right flank now. That rear charge from the Knights of the White Wolf was big, but now Nurgle's Chosen moving up. 2 HP, very tanky, very survivable in melee. They will grind down a lot of Empire units in melee, and they're going to charge in now, kind of into the back of their own guys, but here come Knights of the White Wolf, charge up the center, and this is going to be wholesale slaughter, and that's what I'm talking about. Only 17 Knights of the White Wolf, but 2 HP can't stand up to 14 charge bonus. My gen is going to go down, which is a big deal. Thankfully, I still have my War Standard, but the Tutigan Guard charge is going to hurt those Nurgle Chosen so bad. If he could have protected that better, that Nurgle Chosen could have done a lot of damage, but you can't let them get charged by cavalry in a Medieval 2 mod. Cav is so important. And now here come some of the Hunters of Sigmar lining up for a real nice rear charge. And those Nurgle Chosen, they were left in reserve so they could get thrown in late in the fight and wear down a lot of our depleted units, but they enter combat and only a couple seconds later they're stuck in a horrible position, sandwiched between 2 heavy cav units and getting hammer and anvil from all kinds of sides. That's a big swing in favor for the Empire because those Nurgle Chosen are going to do absolutely nothing in melee now. So things are definitely starting to swing a little bit in our favor, although the balance bar is still pretty even. We do have some nice archers in the back, and the Witch Hunters have really made their presence felt shooting in there, but Great Unclean One is getting tired of those shots from the Shadow Warriors, and he's going to sprint in and run off for a second there, but turn around and get back into melee with the Shadow Warriors. Probably killed 20 or 30 off the charge right there. Going to get back into melee. But the Hellblaster Volley Gun and the Hellstorm Rocket Batteries are still shooting in. Great Unclean One's going to go down now after I don't know how much carnage those Great Unclean Ones wreaked. We'll look at the kills afterwards, but they did so much work, but finally going to go down to actually some high elf units. And now Nurgling stuck up against the pike line. Rear charge from the Hunters of Sigmar. One of them's going to flip over the pike wall right there, one of the cav units, and a couple of them are going to die. I don't know if that was from friendly fire or what from the pikes, but they are going to rear charge into the back of those Nurglings, and they can't rout them. I think Nurglings are unroutable, but they are going to kill quite a lot of them. And my Mercenary Ogres actually just silenced that Hell Cannon, which really didn't do a whole lot in this battle, to be honest. Was trying to line up for some shots, but never really had a good line of sight. Didn't do very much work at all. That's 5,000 talents down the drain for the Chaos Warriors. So Pike Line is held very strong, although they haven't really moved. I'm not even sure if Pina Colada clicked attack orders on them, but now I'm going to throw in one of my units of Witch Hunters into melee. They're out of their range weapon, and they're going to go into melee against some Plaguebearers, those 4 HP monsters. Really good melee stats. They're on par with the Demonettes of Slaanesh and the Bloodletters of Khorne, but they have way more HP. They have 4 HP, so they are really hard to cut down, have really good attack values, but we are definitely surrounding them. Look at how far that balance bar shifted in only about the last 30 or 45 seconds. Empire has made it stand here. They're doing well. This battle's not wrapped up yet. There's still plenty left on the field for Nurgle, but we have definitely thinned out their most important units. My Knights of the Bull, only 2 Knights of the Golden Lion lining up for a rear charge there. Gonna get a good charge, and the Hellstorm Rocket Battery. I'm really having trouble with those two. The Hellblaster Volley Gun and Hellstorm Rocket Battery, they sound so similar. But rear charge into the back of the Plaguebearers and the Nurglings. Gonna leave them in melee, let them kill as much as they can. And we are surrounding these demonettes, or these demons, and doing our best to finish this fight after an epic stand and a ridiculously powerful melee charge from the Warriors of Nurgle. Pina Colada's Dogs of War mercenaries did very well holding line against those demons. Al-Qatani Fellowship and Rico's Republican Guard. They actually slaughtered hundreds of those silly little Nurglings on the business end of their pike wall. And I was kind of surprised. I didn't expect the Dogs of War mercenaries to do quite that well. But you can see there were just tons of guys on the edge of that pike wall just dead on the end there. But you can see a bunch of these Plaguebearers now engaging the Warrior Priests of Sigmar and the Reiksguard Halberds on the end of the line. And actually, those Reiksguard Halberds are in Halberd Wall, which is not how you want to use them to the best of my knowledge. You actually want to take them out of that wall because their animations get much faster and they perform much better in combat outside of the pike wall. So even if you're holding a line, it's not the best thing to do to keep them in pike wall, but regardless, they seem to do quite well on the end there, and there's going to be a good charge from the inner circle knights, and all across the line, we've got a bunch of free cav, and as you guys know, same thing in Attila and in Medieval 2, if you've got a lot of free cav at the end of a game, that's pretty much game over if they don't have enough spears to counter it, and certainly there are no halberds left on the field for Chaos, it's just the demons at this point. All the Warriors of Chaos are dead, I believe. Yeah, we wrapped it up over on this side. So Captain Gorguts is out of the game at this point. All of his Warriors of Chaos gone, so it's just some Nurglings and some Plaguebearers. And it was really even up until the very last part of that battle as we were getting a good look at the remnants of our Empire army. Look at all those dead cav units. So many cavalry dead in that engagement in the rear. But we managed to hold out. That pike line helped a lot over the left flank. They held back the demons. Our range units and our artillery did quite a lot of work, and my mercenary ogres in that cav fight were so beneficial. They really helped me. That rear charge I got off with them, and that one free unit of Knights of the Bull really turned that entire cav fight in our favor. And I think that if Gorguts had done a better job with his Jav cav, that might have been a different cav fight. But again, I did have those two free units, so I could have chased them off at the very least. So we held the line. Empire is going to take the field and push back the forces of Chaos. Really epic battle. I'm not exaggerating. That was one of my favorite battles to play ever on this channel. I was so happy to be able to bring it to you guys. Let's look at the kills here. I really do hope you guys enjoyed that battle. It was so awesome. It was so much fun to play. But Pina Colada doing a ton of killing in this battle. Of course, a lot of those kills were on Nurglings, but his cavalry micro was on point, and he got some really nice hammer and anvils off that game. I took the brunt of Nurgle's elite forces. Great Unclean One broke through my center and actually ended the game with 499 kills, which is completely insane, but I would expect nothing less from the Plague Fathers. And I really liked the idea Gojira and Gorguts had with one playing demons and one playing Warriors of Chaos. I thought that was really cool. Glad they did that. And I think their attack was ultimately a good one, but the cavalry fight definitely hurt them. Gorguts did get a few units of depleted knights into the artillery and archers, but for the most part, we just completely shut down that cav engagement. And honestly, we had plenty of cav left over, so I think that was the biggest reason we won. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. It was so much fun to play, and I'll be bringing you some more Call of Warhammer content soon.